What up? It's late. I actually just recorded this video, but my footage got corrupted. So yeah, I gotta re-record this video. Matchday 2 World Cup reaction. Yeah, I'm pretty much gotta redo my whole reaction. I'm trying to go to bed. It's late. I'm gonna be as quick as possible here to go through all the matches. A lot to talk about as we approach Matchday 3 and the knockouts. And yeah, let's get straight into it. Make sure I'm on the right screen here. Okay. Czechia, South Africa. So both these teams looking to bounce back from their result on matchday 1, losing to both Mexico and Korea respectively. Czechia getting an early goal, but I think again, Czech looking to try to impose themselves on this game. Just lack creativity, not really that great of a team unless it's a set piece or the ball's in the air. And South Africa stay in the game. In my opinion, a bit of a fortunate penalty. Get the equalizer to keep their dream alive. Both the teams looking for a point or not point, 3 points in their final game to keep them alive up against the other two teams in the group, Mexico, South Korea, who played out a 1-0 win for Mexico. I was going to say play out a draw. Again, based on these two teams play in the first round, you'd think we're in for a blockbuster of a game, but really was, I think, one of the worst games of the tournament. And it came from a keeper howler where Mexico got an equalizer. South Korean keeper, should be a routine catch for the goalkeeper, spills it, falls to the Mexican player, poached into the net, and then Korea almost had a big chance at the end where a ball somehow didn't cross over the line. And that's enough for Mexico to top their group. They'll be playing both the round 32 and potentially a round 16 game in the Azteca. Huge for them. As we look at the table here, you know, South Africa need to beat South Korea to go through, and the same thing goes for Czechia and Mexico. And Mexico will be feeling Ochoa in their final game. As you know, they're guaranteed to top the group, and Ochoa will play his 6th World Cup for Mexico. So, good for him. Awesome for Mexico, and yeah, they're looking good right now. All right, move on to the next group, Switzerland, Bosnia. Again, this game was looking to be a bit of a dead rubber. Wasn't looking great up until the breakthrough when Manzambi came on, made the difference for Switzerland. Young 20-year-old from Freiburg, special player, I'm going to be honest, very talented player. Watch out for him. Swiss, I'm going to be honest, even the game against, especially the game against Qatar, haven't looked that great. Players off the bench really made a difference. Bosnia resisted for as long as they could, capitulated at the end, got the red card, and Switzerland came up 4-0 winners. For Bosnia, a game against Qatar, pretty much the winner there. We'll go through as Qatar was battered 6-0 by Canada, who secured their first win in a World Cup. Jonathan David on the score against a hat trick, not just on the score sheet. Qatar, not really that great of a side, but goal difference doesn't really matter as the game against Bosnia will determine who will finish third in the group. And for Canada, good result for them. They'll be looking at top of the group against Switzerland as top of the group for them, guarantees them to be playing both around 32 and potentially around 16 game in Canada. Bad news for Canada, though. Ismail Kamone picked up a massive injury during the match. Rules him out for the next 5-6 months. He's having a good World Cup, talented player in Serie A. Actually, probably on for a big transfer. Unfortunately, see him ruled out for the rest of the tournament, and yeah, for a big loss for Canada. But again, looking to move on, looking to get a result against Switzerland, and see how far their World Cup dream can go. Moving on to the next game, USA Australia. Here at the U.S. without Pulisic. Pulisic sustained an injury in the first game. Kind of question marks in terms of how the U.S. would cope without Pulisic, but again, very mature performance from the U.S. Balogun forces the issue, forces an own goal off Australia. Freeman makes it 2. For Australia, I'm surprised Irakuna didn't start. I just think this Australia team didn't really pose much of a threat. They kind of pushed on at the end, tried to create something, but again, I think the U.S. felt relatively comfortable and controlled this game. And yeah, good for the U.S. 6 points, guarantees them the top of the group. Good momentum. And the last game against Turkey won't matter as Turkey are eliminated from the World Cup. Very disappointing campaign for them. Their star players just didn't turn up in terms of Güler, Hanagu, and Yildiz, even though despite Yildiz coming off an injury, even the rest of the squad just not good enough. Paraguay stunned Turkey in early minutes, and then sit-in. Almiron gets sent off for covering his mouth. Again, I do agree with that rule because if you're going to talk smack to another player, you should be just able to say it straight. Like, why are you hiding what you got to say? Like, if you got to hide what you got to say, probably should be said. But regardless, Turkey, just very disappointing for them. It's crazy stat. This had like 62 shots, 0 goals. Game against the U.S. really should just be playing for pride. But yeah, definitely probably the most disappointing team in the tournament so far, because even a lot of people even expect them to top this group. So yeah, not a great campaign for them. And moving on to the next group, Morocco just do enough to get past Scotland. And I said do enough. I think they worked pretty comfortable in this game. Saibari gets an early goal, hell of a finish. Guy who's off to Bayern Munich in the coming days. And Scotland, I just don't think did enough. Just didn't really pose enough of a threat. Morocco, I think we're very comfortable in this game. This game wasn't really not one of the most entertaining of the tournament, but enough for Morocco to get 3 points. Game against Haiti, looking to top the group, looking to match Brazil, and actually go even further in their goal differences. Brazil run up 3-0 winners against Haiti. With Brazil, definitely a much better performance, but I think the opening 20 minutes were a bit questionable from Brazil until Cunha gets a breakthrough, and then from there, it seemed like Haiti kind of capitulated a bit as Cunha gets a second, Vinny makes it 3. Yeah, I gotta say, I criticized Vinny during Morocco, even though he scored. I just thought his performance wasn't great, but even this game, I thought Vinny ran the show. I thought he was fantastic. And yeah, Rafinha out injured for believe at least till around 16. Again, it looks like a recurring injury from the one he picked up in March, which ruled him out for the rest of Barca's season. And with Brazil, I think there's still question marks because, again, I think the midfield, even Casemiro, Gamard, I don't think that either of them had great games. I still think where he did find success was in the midfield. So definitely still issues in this Brazilian team. But, again, big result for them. Game against Scotland. Neymar will be coming back, actually. So good news for them. We'll see. I still think there's question marks about this Brazilian team, especially in midfield. And if Neymar comes back, where does Neymar fit in all this? So, yeah. Hold on. All right, don't know what happened there. Moving on. So, Netherlands, Sweden. Again, Sweden coming off a 5-0 win, or 5-1 win, sorry. And then getting smacked 5-1 by Netherlands, who really flexed their muscles in this game. Brobby with 2, Gakpo with 2, and Somerville coming off the bench to make an impact. Again, with Sweden, I think there's question marks about this team going into this tournament, given how they qualified and in the nations, had to go through the Nations League to qualify. So for them, their whole goal difference they got against Tunisia is completely eradicated. And we'll see, I guess, in the next game against Japan, which version of Sweden is really the real Sweden. It looked like, building off Tunisia, who I'll get into Tunisia in the next game. But you really thought the Sweden team could really may turn the corner a bit. Gyökeres and Isak, they may hit some rhythm going into this World Cup. But again, Netherlands just look even better, look even sharper. We'll see how far they can go in the tournament. They look good. I told you, even against Japan, for what I saw, they look like the better team. Up against Tunisia in the final game, so for them, that should be them top of the group if everything goes according to plan. So, yeah, and moving on to the other group. Speaking of Tunisia, again, sacked their manager, Braun Renard, hoping to maybe build some momentum, bounce back from that 5-1 loss, only to meet Japan and get smacked 4-0. With Tunisia, as someone who pays attention to African qualifying, with all due respect to Tunisia, this team isn't great. They somehow get, I'm going to say, fortunate routes in qualifying relative to African qualifying. So, yeah, probably have been the worst team at this tournament so far, as you can see, in 9 goals in 2 matches. Japan looked good, scored an early goal through Kamada, who I actually think should have been, I think it was actually a foul on one of the Tunisian players, so I think the goal should have been ruled out. But regardless, Japan put 4 past them, and with Tunisia, that's the tournament done. And Japan, again, they're missing some of their key players up against Sweden, so that's an interesting match to see who will most likely finish second in the group. And yeah, moving on, Spain, Saudi Arabia. Sorry, I thought something was going on my phone. Spain, Saudi Arabia. Yamal starts for Spain in his first World Cup start. Yeah, that makes sense. So anyways, yeah, Spain break the deadlock in the 10th minute. Yamal at the back post. Again, Yamal, first World Cup goal. Only plays 46 minutes, or 45 minutes. Sorry, it just came up at halftime, whatever. Again, coming off an injury. I think it's going to take a while to get Yamal up to speed. I don't think this is his best game, but again, gets his goal. I'm assuming him all, given how every other star is performing this tournament. We'll get up to speed soon. This is Spain from the Euros that we saw. The Spain that a lot of people favored to win the tournament. Oriol's grabs 2. Second half, forced own goal off Saudi. Saudi just not a great team. And yeah, very routine, very good from Spain, especially to bounce back from the Cape Verde result. And speaking of Cape Verde, they get a 2-2 draw against Uruguay. Starts off with a stunner. Cape Verde stunned Uruguay off a direct free kick. Ball goes to the wall. Uruguay wall's got to do better. Wall's got to be more firm. And I even think there should have been more guys in the wall. But Cape Verde get one, stun Uruguay, but Uruguay fight back, get 2 right on the stroke at halftime. And from there, you thought Uruguay was maybe going to close this out. But again, Uruguay, the victims, their own downfall. An error between, I believe, Oliveira and definitely Muslera. Gives Cape Verde a goal. Complete howler there. And Cape Verde stun Uruguay, pick up a point. And I told you in my World Cup predictions, watch out for this team. Cape Verde, they top Cameroon in their AFCON group. And African qualifying group. And yeah, I told you, this is not a walkover team. Just because they're a small island, small nation, first ever World Cup, for them, they're a good team. So watch out for them. They're up against Saudi in their final game. So again, they'll be favorites in that game, and a point for them will probably most likely see them to the knockout round. So huge achievement for them, especially on their World Cup debut. And moving on to the next group, we had Belgium, Iran, and for Belgium, it's just another underwhelming performance from them. The talk about Belgium has been Doku this week, him and the birth of his child. But this game he was out with an illness, I believe. And with Belgium just lackluster, just slow, lethargic. You just kind of wonder who's going to be the difference maker for them. Lukaku, just again, when it comes to Lukaku in these big moments for Belgium, just seems to be very inconsistent. Iran, who I think were the better team, against New Zealand, who managed a 2-2 draw, could have actually won the game. And he actually could win this game, and a goal ruled out. And Belgium had 2 big chances that I actually think fell both to the Kuiper. One where he blazed over the bar, and the one where I'm probably mispronouncing this guy's name, Berenevend, whatever. Iranian goalkeeper made a huge save to keep them in this game. And for Belgium, they need a result against New Zealand to qualify. And for Iran, say likely so, up against Egypt, who secured their first ever win in the World Cup. And this is definitely a game of tale two halves. New Zealand stunned Egypt early on, the 15th minute off a corner. And from there, first half, honestly didn't look like Egypt were going to score. Very lackluster from Egypt. And then second half, really upped it up. Different Egypt team came out in that second half. Salah's going to get the headlines, but I thought Zico really made a difference for them. Grabbed the first goal. I thought he was instrumental to the second goal and really uplifted this Egyptian attack. Again, Salah, goal, assist. That's them through to the next round. Huge for them. There's videos of them celebrating as it's their first ever win. A team that's been so successful in African football, as very little World Cup heritage, very success. It's unlikely, but for them, massive for them to get their first ever win in the World Cup. We'll see how far Salah and Egypt can go. And moving on, Argentina, Austria, and Messi just keeps showing why he's still one of the best in the world. Misses a penalty early on. You thought, a little bit shaky, but, penalty to break the record. Decides, no, I'm not going to score a penalty. I'm going to do it ethical hoop style. I'm going to score it in the most messy way possible. Cut back, just like Jordi Alba has always done for Barcelona. Him and Jordi Alba have done for Barcelona. Top of the box, bottom corner, curls in with the left foot. Messi gets one at the end. If you watch that back, ridiculous touch from Messi. Dribbles past 2 defenders, gets his own rebound, scores it. And, yeah, Argentina keep marching on. They top the group. Everything was looking pretty good for them. Alvarez, I think there's he didn't have a great cameo. Still trying to get him up to speed. But yeah, this Argentina team is still looking very good, similar to the one that won the World Cup 4 years ago. And then for Austria, again, I think they're a good team. Will most likely make it through to the next round. But for them, I just think lack the difference makers in attack just pretty much lack the quality in attack. That's the difference. And plus, you don't have someone like Messi on your team. So, yeah. And they'll be up against Algeria in the final game. Austria will be at least. And similar to the Egypt game, very tail two halves. Jordan stunned Algeria. Again, Lucas Denon, I still think is the weakness for his team, and he's a rookie. I'm gonna be honest, this is one of the worst players I've seen at the World Cup, with all due respect. And again, a lot riding on Algeria and even Jordan at this point in the game, because most likely a draw or a loss will see both these teams eliminated from the World Cup. So again, Algeria really upped the intensity, really upped the urgency as the game kept dwindling on. Got the difference off a corner, and yeah, actually got the winner off a corner as well, with a goal that almost looked offside to me, but enough for Algeria to go through. They'll be up against Austria, which is a huge game for them, given the World Cup history between those two nations. And yeah, moving on, France, Iraq. France went 3-0. Not really much of a surprise here. If anything, France maybe should have won by more, but regardless, 3-0. And the biggest headline here is really the rain delay. There's a 2-hour break between the first half and the second one. And Mbappe breaks the deadlock, left foot shot from outside the box. Gets a second off an Iraq mistake, then trying to play out the back, and then Dembele at the third. For France, I don't really think there's many takeaways here. I'd say the only takeaway is Elise definitely should be playing at the 10 over Dembele for the rest of the tournament. I think that's a sure, and I think other than that, I think Kone looked good. He didn't start the first game for them. And even Digne, I think Digne was better than Theo Hernandez. So, yeah, very routine win for France. They'll most likely top the group unless they lose to Norway, who beat Senegal 3-2. Senegal looking to bounce back off the result against France. Really need to get a result in this game, but unable to cope with Holland, who again is really showing his ruthlessness on the world stage. First World Cup, scores back-to-back braces. Norway are through to the next round. Huge achievement for them. Senegal, a lot of pressure, cool body with a performance to forget about. And, now Senegal, a lot of pressure on them. They need a big result against Iraq in order to qualify. They have to probably win by at least 2 goals, I would say. And even then, that might not be enough to see them through to the next round. So, yeah, that goal at the end by Sarr, 9+3, that might be the goal that actually takes them into the knockouts. But for a team that, I'll call it the People's Champions of Africa, it would be a disappointment for them not to feature in the knockouts. Moving on, Portugal, Uzbekistan. Again, with all the talk is about Ronaldo, and then all the talk was about Ronaldo going into this game. As I said in my first recap or reaction, I thought the whole talk about Ronaldo was being overblown. If you were to isolate Ronaldo as a problem for Portugal, I wouldn't use the Congo game as an example. That wouldn't be the one for me. I thought there was bigger issues. Bernardo was dropped. I don't think João Felix coming in was a difference maker, though. I just thought it was the approach. Portugal just looked better. They upped their performance. Ronaldo silenced his critics in under 6 minutes rather. Great run in your post. Ronaldo, typical celebration. And yeah, gets a brace. Actually, before he even scores the brace, fakes everyone out. Free kick, brilliant free kick routine. Whole stadium thought Ronaldo was going to take it. Nuno Mendes catches everyone out, even the keeper. Slots in the bottom corner. Ronaldo gets a third on the edge of half time. And then from there, Portugal get 2 more, an own goal, and Leao comes on and scores the very end. And yeah, again, talking about Ronaldo in this scenario, he actually, before he even says that, the camera's at the end, says, "I'm back." Yeah, so I think a lot of people are going to question Uzbekistan as, the level of opposition. I still think scoring any goal at the World Cup is massive despite the opposition. You can only play who you're up against. And in this game, a lot of talk was about Uzbekistan get a result against Portugal because Ronaldo's a hindrance. So I don't think you can criticize Ronaldo scoring against such weak opposition if you think the opposition could even, get a point against Portugal because of Ronaldo. So, but anyways, my biggest question still, I guess, with Ronaldo, if you will, is I'm curious about how the game against Colombia will go because, again, in games where you'll have more competitive opposition, will Ronaldo be a hindrance? Can you replicate his performance up against better opposition like Spain in the Nations League? Because that will really determine how far Portugal can go because this is a very talented team. And again, similar, I guess it's not just about Ronaldo. I still have the question about Messi in terms of if Argentina are over-reliant on Messi because I think, similarly, like with Argentina, like someone like Di Maria is in there who's kind of like a Batman to Robin with Messi, and in games where I guess you can say there's teams with quality who are maybe more athletic than Argentina. I think Argentina are very good at controlling games. Like their midfield is still, like I had questions about their midfield going into this tournament, and it still looks very good. But yeah, again, I want both Messi and Ronaldo to do well. I'm just trying to enjoy them while they're still here. This is both their last tournaments. If they meet in the quarterfinals, I think that's what I think I want. I think that's what the whole world wants. But yeah, in terms of these two teams, carrying both the legends in terms of them and the game being so intense and fast paced, and I guess being unable to carry passengers in certain type of games, or being able to funnel everything towards one of them. I still think that there's question marks, like if they were coming against a France or England or Spain, something like that, for both Messi and Ronaldo and their respective national teams. I'm a little bit intrigued. Not to say the level of opposition they played, like the games against Uzbekistan, Algeria, and Austria. Sorry, I couldn't think of the last thing for a sec. But yeah, again, they keep proving everyone wrong. I hope they prove me wrong. But yeah, great from Ronaldo, great from Messi. Just enjoy the both of them. That's my takeaway. And what wasn't there to enjoy was this England performance. But again, I wouldn't overreact. It's only a group stage game. Similar to, again, the game against Spain, Cape Verde, Congo, Portugal, where, especially Congo, Portugal, where it was an overreaction. I don't think this game you should overreact. If there was a takeaway from this game, I would say it would be England's ability to break down low blocks. I think that can maybe be an issue. Even under Tuchel before this tournament, England weren't really a high-scoring team. They had some bad losses, they lost to Japan, they lost to Senegal under Tuchel. And here, this is a Ghana team that isn't that great. Someone who's paid attention to African football over the last couple of years. Ghana have not been a great team. Definitely a team that's better on paper than what they actually are. Credit them, they defended brilliantly today. But yeah, with England, for me, my biggest takeaway from this is if you were to come against a team that would be able to deploy a low block in a knockout game, especially a team with more quality than Ghana, I think there's a question mark in terms of how would England break that down. Because again, the game against Croatia, I thought was a good matchup for them because with Croatia, you have a midfield of Modric and I forget who else was alongside Modric, but you have 40-year-old Modric up against Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham in a game that's very open and back and forth. It's just a mismatch. But in this game, Ghana did well to neutralize England. I think there's still question marks. Again, I don't know what Tuchel sees in Spence. I don't know what Tuchel sees in this guy. For me, someone like Nico O'Reilly was much better suited for this game. I know Nico O'Reilly didn't have a good performance against Croatia, but if that's the reason why he was left out, I don't know why Gordon started because he wasn't great against Croatia and wasn't great again today. Someone like O'Reilly, I'm a City fan, so I'm a bias, but if you look at how City play, they play against teams that usually deploy a low block week in, week out, or usually most teams deploy a low block against City, so you have someone like him can actually be much better on the ball, someone can invert, someone who can crash the box and be a goal threat. I thought he would have been more effective today, and Gordon, same thing. I don't know, unless it's a game in transition, I don't know if Gordon can be effective against low blocks, especially being at Newcastle. I don't know how many low blocks Newcastle faces. I just don't think he's that effective. And plus, he's coming off a bad season. And again, with Tuchel, I think the subs just came too late. I think after 20 minutes, it's pretty evident that this England team needs some change. And yeah, I think the subs came too late. Kane missed a big chance at the end. Madueke, I still think a lot of people were praising his first performance. I thought he looked good against Croatia, but again, let's call a spade with Madueke. It's just, for me, I still have the opinion that he's just not good enough. And until Saka gets up to speed, I have no issue with Madueke starting until Saka gets up to speed. But yeah, that's all I would say. Don't read too much into this England performance. I'm sure they'll be able to elevate their level going into knockouts, but definitely question marks in terms of certain matchups they can face in the knockouts against teams that can actually deploy a low block. Moving on, Croatia, Panama. Sorry, I'm tired. I'm just saying I'm stuttering and whatever, but yeah. Short and sweet. Croatia just do enough to get past Panama, who I think, again, same problem as the Ghana game. I think over the course of 90 minutes had a better play. But for them, they just lack quality in the final third. Good at progressing the ball up the field, but as soon as they step in the final third, unable to consistently create clear-cut chances. And again, just lack a finisher in Croatia. As soon as they brought on Budimir and Kramaric, definitely, more attacking quality. Then Panama, they were able to get the breakthrough. We're able to see the result out. But again, with Croatia, I think the problem is still like the reliance on their aging players, their older players like Modric, Perisic, Kovacic, and their younger players just aren't at the level yet to really step up and carry this team. So for them, I don't know how far they'll go. I just don't think they'll go that far, despite the recent success in the last couple of tournaments. But yeah, and finally the game that just finished, Colombia. And Colombia, I'm gonna be honest, I think could have scored more. We're on a rampage in the opening 20 minutes. Congo goalkeeper had 5 saves, I believe, in like the first 20 minutes. And Congo weathered a storm. Again, I told you this is a team that starts slow. They really grow into games, but again, it just seemed like the Colombia goal was inevitable, and they got the breakthrough through Munoz with a bit of a fortunate deflection off the defender to find the bottom corner. Munoz, who actually missed a big chance for them in the opening half, pretty much missed an open goal. Redeemed himself. That's 2 goals in 2 games for him. Enough to see Colombia through to the next round. They'll be competing with Portugal who will finish first in the group. So looking good for them. For Congo, they need to win against Uzbekistan. And again, with Congo, I still believe this team is very good. I just think today they just didn't have a great performance. We're pinned in. I just thought with Congo, too many times when they were trying to relieve pressure, because Colombia were hounding them as soon as they lost the ball. I just think with Congo, just too pedestrian, I would say. There's too many times Congolese players are just caught on the ball, and then it's just attack after attack after attack for Colombia, and that's why I believe the goal was inevitable. So, yeah. Anyways, hopefully this recording doesn't corrupt like the first one, and I'm tired. I'm trying to go to bed, so hopefully I can get this out tomorrow. But yeah, I'm excited for Matchday 3. The bracket is trying to form itself, so I don't know if I'll do a separate video or include that within the reaction, just like my final bracket predictions. But yeah, other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one, and I'm excited. Hope you all excited for Matchday 3. I really want that Portugal-Argentina matchup, so I'm hoping both those teams top their group, because that's how it has to happen. So yeah, and watch it. I want Neymar to perform, because every star player is performing. Mbappe, Haaland, Messi, Ronaldo. This is dragging on, so I'm just getting it here, and later.